My name is Aldous Bertram and I'm a maker of miniature houses, as well as a painter of murals and an interior designer. I first got involved with building miniature houses when I went to Windsor Castle when I was 15, and they have something called Queen Mary's Doll's House, which is undoubtedly the best doll's house in the whole world. It has a full wine cellar of 50,000 bottles with the proper wine in. The books in the library were written by the famous authors of the day just for the Doll's House's library. And I'd always been creative in making things, so after I saw that, I just had to embark on my own. So it started as a hobby with one room, and over the next 15 years, I just added room after room until there are 17 or 18 to my house that's mine, and I think I'll have forever. And then in the last 2 years, I've been building other houses. When I've been thinking for weeks and weeks and weeks and got all the measurements right, I will order and get the wood cut, and I will spend 2 or 3 always very pleasurable days gluing it all together, usually regretting that because it's much harder to get my hand in to paint them afterwards, but I will never learn from that mistake. Then room by room, I will choose my main inspiration for the room, the historical theme and the wall color. I'll paint that in, I'll put the cornice in and the skirting, and then I'll lay the floors. Then I'll think about the ceiling a bit and if it's going to have moldings or a painting on it. And then finally, the little decorations. So I'll do all my little moldings. I'll think about what furniture is going to be in there, if I'm going to make it, or, I mean, you can buy beautiful things. And finally, the paintings, I think, are really important. So I do either watercolor portraits, or I will buy little antique prints from the 1790s, usually 1810s. You can get them 2-3 inches across if you find them in the antique shops, and then I'll watercolor those to tint them and frame them, and they look beautiful, just like antiques. So I don't just want my house to look like an antique house, I want it to be filled with genuine antiques as well. I've always been very passionate about historical architecture, particularly Georgian English country houses. So my main influence is those. I've been visiting them every weekend almost since I was a child, with my parents and then by myself. They just give me so much inspiration. I'll just see a room or a corner or a color or a ceiling that I just feel I desperately want to replicate and own myself. And so that's really where it all stems from, where I get my new excitement from when I see a property that I haven't seen. So the outside of the buildings are very Palladian and Georgian, and they're influenced by certain famous houses, but actually also by historic English dolls' houses, of which there are about 5 good examples, which I really try and model after. They're always sort of a creamy white or grey, with this Palladian look and a pediment and some columns. So it's trying to be simple but decorative.